This clip is brought to you by SAVEWITHCONRAD.com.
We do have some clips that we want to play here. We'll start with one from the 23rd. This is a fun one. This is a commercial for Souvenir Cups. You know, whenever we sat down and talked to Mr. Crockett, he talked about how one of the ways that he ultimately lost the award events is he didn't have enough staff. He needed more licensing opportunities. And here's one for Souvenir Cups from May 23rd, 1987.
They're bad. Rock and Roll Express. Barry Windham and Road Warriors meet Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes, and Nikita Koloff to make a special appearance on these limited edition cups. Collect all your favorites with 32 ounces of any fountain drink. Only 69 cents each at Crown Express Marts, Fast Fare, and Zippy Marts.
They're big. They're bad.
How fun is that, man? Souvenir Cups. We would hear CM Punk talk about it a generation later, but now you had some JCP stars on cups at service stations. That's a big time deal. I mean, that is a Vince McMahon level licensing opportunity. Do you remember seeing those out in the wild? And was that cool to see some of your running mates on those cups?
No, it wasn't cool to see. Why weren't we on one? I was not happy for them at all.
It is weird that they had Barry Windham on a cup. I mean, he's relatively new to the territory here. I mean, you should have taken up some grievances here.
Well, let me tell you something. This is starting to be the beginning of when we saw we're okay to headline a town, any town, and draw money, but for some reason Tully and I are not marketable. That started, and without even me just seeing that now, I'm starting to go, well, you know, these guys aren't in these main events by themselves.
Right.
You know, what's missing from this picture? And I can tell you beyond a shadow of a doubt, if we would have had a marketing machine and featured that crew of guys, heels and baby faces alike, Jim Crockett would still be in business to this day. There was so much additional money that was out there. I mean, you know, I told you the story about going through the little bitty town, wherever it was, and, you know, pulling to the edge of town and there being a traffic jam, thinking there was a big wreck or something, and it was the Rock and Roll Express at Hardee's, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
I mean, it was God knows how many people. You know, and that could have went on every single weekend. And for these guys, whatever towns we were in, booked that stuff. You know, it was just a question of single-mindedness and not having the foresight to go, hey, God almighty, man, we got a crew of guys that can kick ass, that are selling tickets, you know, da-da-da-da-da. Let's get these guys some T-shirts. Let's get some jackets out there. Let's get, you know, I'm not saying go all the way to the ice creams and lunch boxes and all that, but man, have some merchandise.
No, I totally agree. It makes total sense to me. And it is interesting to think, you know, how little merch there was back then. I think Crockett was onto something. If he had a bigger squad, he had a bigger crew, and he had invested maybe a little less in air travel and maybe a little more boots on the ground, folks handling this licensing stuff. No telling what it could have been. Let's talk about the world.
Well, take the millions that you spent on Watts territory, invested in marketing.
Well, he didn't spend millions. I mean, ultimately, that deal never got all the way paid off. I think they had an agreement in principle, but Watts never got paid in full because, frankly, the guys felt like they got sold a bill of goods. They showed up, and he was past due on this and that, and they weren't assuming all the bad debt. So they had to sort of hit Control-Alt-Delete on all that, and it was just a mess all around. And to your point, Watts' territory was on its ass, or it wouldn't have been where it was. And they were not there to clean it up.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.